What up guys, it's Jordan here and welcome back to another MDL Pro Tips powered by Mountain Dew Game Fuel. Today we're going to be talking about mistakes to avoid on T-side train, so let's jump right into it. First things first, as you guys know, I like to start from one area of the map and work my way to the other. So we're going to start with Ivy, go to mid, Brown Hall, ladder area, and then inner, B bomb site. First thing I want to note that kind of applies to a lot of things, guys. Your spawn dictates a lot of the fast plays you could do. So a lot of fast play rely on this spawn right here. Essentially, it's roughly here. You know, you guys know the spawn I'm talking about. It's like up here to the right, kind of. This spawn dictates the success on a lot of the plays that you want to do fast. So I'll make a reference to that as we start talking about stuff. But aside from that, it doesn't really matter. We'll give you some sound to add to the realism of what I'm talking about. So first things first. As we work Ivy, the first thing I notice a lot of amateurs not do is not have a counter flash plan when the CTs could push, or just let alone a plan at all. So we'll call it a counterattack plan. So the first thing I notice is people will run up this way, and a common play from the CTs is to have one of their teammates push and the other kind of throw a flash out to the right. That might be a little far, but no, exactly, right? So you'll run here and you'll get blind, and you kind of will jump to the right, or maybe not, or you'll just get blind and kind of like run into the wall or something. So make sure, one, you have that feel down for getting blind and going to the right. And two, I honestly just like to say I run to the right because what I like to do is I don't think there's any reason to rush here unless you have 2 or 3 guys and you have a plan that like dictates to counter this, right? You're saying, okay, we're gonna rush Eiley, I'll pre-flash, you guys turn, etc., etc. Something like this where you're running up, you're gonna like flash off the wall, and you're gonna have like the guy in the back turn, you're gonna run up and flash, and bada, you get my point, right? So if you're by yourself, my suggestion would be go to the right here. You'll hear these metal steps right here. You'll hear those steps, right? So if you hear those, what you can do is you're already ready. You don't gain anything by charging here, and like I said, unless you have a plan. If you do want to go and peek, you could throw this molly. It's a good Molotov because it'll give you info. So all you got to be ready for at that point is their smoke. But just have any plan ready for their aggressive push. So here's the one example. So if you're not mauling, you want to go to the right. I like to wait here. And then if I hear the step, the run, sometimes what I'll do is if I think they're peeking this angle aggressively, I'll just kind of do a little backpedal flash over that wall. And then I'll come out and peek with it. If I think I can catch them falling back, that should blind them. Or if I think it's like a setup where maybe like one's here and one's hiding, I will always just kind of give it to them and tell my teammates, I think they're close Ivy, get ready to go out mid, and then I'll do something like this, where I'll flash like this where they have to turn, and then I'll throw another flash, or I'll do something like more like stylish where I'll kind of do that flash and I'll run with it, and I'll kind of go like that, and it's kind of very, very rugged to kind of do that second route. You can get really grimy right there and make the play. But like I said, guys, you can see all these nade trajectories. There's a lot of options for throwing grenades. Come up with one that you're comfortable with and that you think you could execute. You know, if you want to just stay here and have the molly, and you don't want to waste the molly for sure unless you hear him, you can have that molly. Boom, go. Last thing on Ivy really quick I want to point out. When you're crossing Ivy right here, I see a lot of people throw a flash and they want to cross to avoid the opper. If you throw a flash, realize what a hard flash against the wall is doing and not doing, right? If you throw a hard flash against the wall like that, the oppers can be on this side, and you know that one in particular, they could fully just stay here and not get hit by. But even if it were to land right here, right, like in the open, it's so easy for them to dodge it when you throw it hard off the wall that they could still peek and catch you crossing. So you got to be careful. So a flash I like to throw is one like this that just softly kind of banks off the wall, and I could cross with it as it's going, and you can kind of do it as it's happening, because what will happen is, if he's on this side, voice crack. If he's on this side, it's going to be hard for him to hit the shot anyway, so you can kind of cross with it. If he's on this side, the flash you can tell is going to bank in front of him, and he has to dodge. And if they want to eat it, they can eat it, and you could, depending on how you're going to play this, you can kind of wait for it to pop. And as it pops, jump, and it's going to be really hard for him to dodge it and stop and hit that shot because you perfectly placed a flash. All right? Next thing's up, middle guys. Middle guys or middle guys. That's where punctuation is important. The spawn reference I made in the beginning, very big for a mid rush. If you don't have this best spawn, jumping out mid, you're probably going to get spotted and offed by these guys. So first things first when rushing out mid, be aware of your spawn. All right. Next thing, when you're jumping out mid, throwing flashes and the way you flash over mid depends on what kind of rush you're doing. So if you want to rush down hell lane and you want to blind the guys from going E-box, and your whole team is coming, sure, throw flashes over mid early like this, once for yourself, and ask your team to keep flashing, right? But if you're going to go out mid and you just want to maybe go to the right, this is a common play. Nowadays, you do a little B-hop out to the right to avoid the oppers. Pathing is important, but make sure you're not wasting flashes early. If you throw flashes early E-box, they're going to be unblind by the time you jump out anyways, and you want to make sure the real important flash is you don't actually care that they're E-box. You want to make sure that this flash is coming over and more to the right as you're jumping out. So you'll say like this, flash now. So if you can, tell someone, hey, can anyone flash team mid for me? If they say yes, pick, okay, do it when I call, and give them a countdown. 3, 2, flash. And they'll flash, boom, it goes off. You could get it. You could hit a better B-hop than that, out like this to the right, and kill this guy. So don't flash early, guys, unless you have a reason, which is, hey, you want to chain flash the E-box guy and maybe rush this route or something like that. Next thing up, you heard me kind of refer to the B-hop. Pathing and jumping is really key. Not jumping is super detrimental. If you try to rush team mid, whether you're going right or left, and you just do this, it's so much easier for the opera to kind of just duck here, and right when they see a pixel hit their screen, they take a shot, and they're going to hit you. They might hit you when you're jumping still, but at least then it'll be a leg shot. So if you're going out mid, first things first, don't just run this way because you're going to die. Make sure you're bobbing and weaving between all these angles. So pathing, go like this, and then jump this way because you're going to make it harder for them to hit that shot. They're just going to see your legs fly across the screen. Don't just run this route and jump because you can't really hit the strafe, and there's a chance they just op you right there, right? So you want to kind of cut off this angle, even if you want to swerve out of that angle, and then jump like this, right? You're going to beat the guy to this peak only if you have this front spawn. That's why the spawns are so important. If you don't have the best spawn, guys, and you try to rush out right here, this guy's just going to be sitting right here. And you're going to get owned by a guy posting up right here. Potentially you're going to line up with your teammates and just get destroyed. Last thing, there's a little extra bonus tidbit. If you are rushing out mid and you're going hell side, don't be scared to have your flash out and just throw an extra flash right there if you have the best spawn, because you can get it off. And a lot of times what's happening is this guy's running up here and you can get out safely to Olaf. But even when you're running here, a lot of times what I see happens is the guy rushing mid will just die with them all in the hand like this. You can throw your flash like this, hide like this. He'll be blind, throw your molly, cross right here, and ideally you have some teammates throwing good flashes, and if not, guys, and you're in that matchmake with no support, best of luck on this mid-rush. All right, next up, Brown Hall and ladder. Again, spawn is so important on this position. If you're not rushing with the best spawn, this spawn, down ladder, you're probably going to get beat to ladder room. You are, rather. I know this game. I've played it for a long time. You're going to get beat to ladder by the best CT spawn that decides to take this route. So don't try to rush ladder with this spawn. If you rush ladder with this spawn, you can't try to go first contact. You got to let your teammate guys get out. And even then, even when they get out, the guy could be in here. So you almost want to wait till this guy turns and shoots your teammates in the side of the head. This is what's called proper baiting. I'm not going to get too far into it, but that's how you have to approach ladder. You can't simply take ladder like just dry like this unless you have the best spawn. If you do have the best spawn and you go out mid, you don't really want to get caught fighting this angle unless you really have an intention to fight that angle, like you have an op by yourself, because you have no trade frag possibilities. The only time you ever maybe want to fight that angle is if you're the second or third guy spawn, which you wouldn't probably be rushing ladder like this, and your team's already out here or something. Which brings me to my next point. You're probably going to do this with the best spawn, right? When you rush ladder, it's because you have that best spawn. You didn't want to rush mid. You wanted to take a different approach to hitting mid. A lot of times you couple with like a deep flash over, right? So you avoid this angle. You maybe jump across. There's a good chance there's a guy like here or here, like I said, right? It's common for them to run here. They jump across. You might even see them. Again, this is where proper baiting is key. Your teammates this is only a good trade position if they're right there, the enemies, and your teammates are jumping out mid or peeking mid here, and that's when you should swing ladder. But if your teammates are coming out ladder, the next mistake I see people making is they swing ladder alone. Wait till your teammates are in a position to trade to swing ladder. When you're here, the only time you should be swinging is if your team is fighting guys right here in the open on the train right there. But other than that, when your team's coming out mid, you don't actually want to rush ladder until a guy starts swinging right here. Because then once they swing here, you could fight these guys with them. But if you peek this early, that spot, that spot, that spot, that spot, you know how the CTs might play here, up here. Those are all isolated angles, and you're not trading. This is where proper baiting's key, and you got to wait. If no one's coming out E-box in your team, you're still waiting. The whole time, maybe you want to take this fight, right here, maybe this one, but you don't want to see, they can see your shoulder on bomb chain right now. You don't want to take the damage for no reason. If your team is doing a hell rush, you literally have to wait till they fight from back here to come out ladder. That's not bad baiting. This is proper angle control, so that make sure that you're complementing what your teammates are doing. All right, guys? Simple, but very, very, very important to make sure that you're baiting at the right times and fighting at the right times. Heading towards inner. All right, fast play reference again, guys. Spawn, if you're going to drop fast, realize if you don't have the best spawn, you try to do this jump, there's a good chance their best spawn opper, if they take it, can just op you midair. It's very tight regardless, even if you have the best spawn. So what you need to make sure is happening is if you're not playing with a team where someone's throwing like a good support flash like that in the beginning, you got to make sure, unless you have some, you know, crazy Death Wish rush plan, which can work. This kind of play right here, it can work where you catch these guys off guard and you peek and get the kill. But if you're not going to rush like that, there's no reason to come wide right here and jump like this. Always jump to the left, and if you can, do this at the same time. While you're running, stay to the left the whole time. Throw a flash like maybe off that box. Oops. Low off the box like that, and just jump to the left, let it pop, and then come out. And even then, I might just try to take this route and peek this. If you have teammates behind you, they're going to be going wide anyways. The best play is, if you really want to be safe after the flash, is you go like this. You flash, you're down, you have your molly, you throw it, and you stay hidden until it goes. And even sometimes a little after that, because you have operators like Device who will take a little bit of molly damage, take the shot, and then jump away and kill you. And they'll literally sacrifice 75 HP just to, or in this case 85, to get the frag and run away, take the 5v4 because they have an op, and now they're good, right? So, first things first, make sure you're clear on your intention going in, or there's no reason to go like this if you're by yourself and you have no plan to take in her anyways and you're just going to stop and hold. Might as well use your utility the right way and make sure that you're not getting picked for no reason. Now, good flash for inner, I'll just throw this as a little tidbit. Good mistake is you guys just rush inner, and people love to throw the underhand flashes, and then you see that one, you see in this one, and then that one's all right, but like really, it's not blinding anyone here. So if you want to have a good flash, one that's easy to remember is right past these little teal markers. You go to the next corner, right past these. You stop, you could stand or duck right at the top right corner, and both of those basically will go to this spot and blind. It goes through this texture a little bit, and if you really want, you could dial it in. I think there's one like maybe low right corner or a little higher, and you could really practice them and get them dialed in. The shallower it is, you can get one at that angle. If you want it, make sure you have it exactly how it's meant to be thrown. Last but not least, guys, when you're going into the bomb site, biggest mistake I see for entering the bomb site is people going in and they throw a flash down like that, or they throw an underhand flash like this. That one's not a terrible flash if you think the guy's close and holding an angle, but that one didn't even go far. It's just not worth it. People will then throw this flash, right? This flash right here. It's not a terrible flash, but it's not that good either, because look what happens. This guy doesn't get hit by it because that's blocking it. This guy can normally not just be in front of it, won't get hit by it, goes past them. This guy sees it coming and moves forward and just fights it. This guy Z doesn't blind him because it's holding here. So if you want to know good flashes for close, the first best flash for close is just leave a little crack of a space right there in that angle, and then aim to the right of this and just throw a flash somewhere in this area. Somewhere up here will work, I think. You could even probably aim right there. This flash is really good because this guy, aside from hearing that little bank, which will push him off the angle, which is great, it's right above him, and if he's not paying enough attention, he'll get caught by it and destroyed. And then two, if your teammate has two of these, you could run with them. So if you teach someone that flash, they can throw the first one, bang, throw the second one, bang. And I think there's a way to throw it that my teammates used to throw, where it's even more to the right like this. And you could throw it, there's a certain way you can master it right on like the shade. See how, yeah, exactly, right there, low at the railing, right where the kind of dark and light meet right here. You can kind of throw it at that level, and it'll kick off the roof. And so they would throw the second flash like that. They'd go bang, bang, and you could run with the flashes and go like this. It's going to nail that guy, and there you go. You have a flash that's now helping you enter the bomb site, and you're not throwing a flash that you think's blinding people and is actually not doing much for you. I hope this video helped you guys. As always, leave a comment down below. Let me know what other common mistakes you might see people make on T-side train. And let me know if there's anything else you want to see on this map from me, and I'd be glad to make another video about it. Hope you enjoy, guys. See you next time.